As the city welcomes its second airport, let's talk to some voices that would help us understand the gravity of this milestone. We have with us Ajay Avtane, aviation expert, and Jitendra Bhargava, former ED at Air India. Thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen. Let me begin by asking Avtane, how will NMIA's launch today significantly reduce congestion at Mumbai's Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj International Airport, sir? And I ask you this question because, Mumbai has been struggling with managing its congestion for a long time. We're a very populated city and there's high traffic. How do you think NMIA is going to solve that key problem?
So thanks for having me on the show. I think one of the primary issues with Mumbai always has been that there is only one runway. So they've been trying to do the best that they can do with managing, as much traffic movement out of that single runway. With Navi Mumbai, obviously you have two runways now. I mean, the first one's already operational right now. The second one's coming up. So there's already planning for two runways, and I think they've been potentially talking of a third one as well. So additional capacity is always welcome, and this is going to be helpful for the people of Mumbai and the visitors to Mumbai, because obviously now you don't have to really kind of be constrained by capacity at this point of time for expansion into one of the largest cities in India.
Expansion does give a relief in terms of handling high number of passengers. But Mr. Bhargava, from your experience at Air India, how will NMIA relieve the severe capacity crunch at Mumbai Airport that has impacted operations for years in some form or the other? And do you reckon with his view? Is it the same reason?
No, I fully agree. And the fact is, it's a historic day for Indian civil aviation, historic day for Mumbai city. As a financial capital, Mumbai had always had an important place in Indian aviation. Let's not forget, the first flight which heralded the birth of Indian civil aviation landed in Mumbai with J.R.D. Tata in command. Now, what are we looking at is that in the last few years, Mumbai ceded its place and other airports grew because they had greenfield airport. What was done in Mumbai was that the old airport was only renovated, refurbished, and as we call it, a brownfield airport being made to add capacity. But now that the new greenfield airport is coming, and as Ajay said, the capacity will be increased in a calibrated manner, which would mean that the government will be able to give slots, both departing and arrival slots, to foreign airlines, to domestic carriers to expand. And that is what will take the load off the Mumbai existing airport, and there'll be no more congestion. And once you take care of the congestion, the growth will certainly take place, Mumbai being the financial capital, and more airlines would love to travel, arrive in Mumbai and have businesses out of it. The other part, of course, is that once this airport is coming up now, and you'll find the real estate growth in that area. So it acts as the catalyst for economic growth, economic activity, and this is what we must be looking at. And I am myself looking forward to traveling from the Navi Mumbai International Airport day after, just 48 hours from now.
Right. Mr. Bhargava, you highlighted a very important point. You mentioned city-side development as well. And I remember when I was watching the interview that our managing editor, Tamanna Inamdar, did with Adani, he did mention that how this airport is going to fuel growth, not just inside, but also outside and in and around the area. It's going to uplift the economical appeal of the area by various folds. But my follow-up question to what you just said, and this is just me being inquisitive, what is a metric for the success of an airport? And I ask you that because while the airport has been made in a very fancy and appealing manner, where there are many, many features that make the airport experience itself extremely memorable, I just recently heard somebody say that the success of an airport lies in the number of airlines that would eventually come and partner with the airport. How do you think NMIA stands at that position, according to you?
The first thing is to look at that convergence of economic growth, infrastructure creation, airlines adding capacity assures growth in aviation. This is a standard practice that's happened. Navi Mumbai International Airport has all the qualities of an international world-class airport. Now, there is no reason, Mumbai being the financial capital, that airline will not press the government into giving them slots which were being denied in the past. We saw Delhi Airport grow, Bangalore, Hyderabad, all greenfield airports. They grew in a very, very fast manner at the expense of Mumbai city. Mumbai would always remain the first choice. So I am very clear about it that it's a question of time, and as the calibrated growth takes place of Navi Mumbai International Airport, more and more airlines will flock to Mumbai city because Mumbai has the capacity. One thing, of course, one can say that there was a time when Mumbai monopolized the international travel. People would come in from different cities to Mumbai to catch an international flight. But now India, as the Prime Minister has very often stated, the number of airports has grown twofold. Now, with all major cities having their old airport, now you don't need transiting passengers to come to Mumbai and then take an international flight. But Mumbai, on its own standing as the financial capital, will have enough business for many more airlines to come in and fly or add frequencies to it. And of course, as I said earlier, the real estate development, and we have very often said, aviation industry acts as a catalyst for economic growth. And with the coming up of the airport, you will find the area up to 50, 70 kilometers away from Mumbai, from Navi Mumbai International Airport, develop and create employment, create hotels, create travel industry, create businesses for a whole lot of people. And of course, the exports, let's not rule out, because there is a separate thing for cargo that this airport has made a provision for.
Right. So the holistic development is a key byproduct of the airport being built in such a strategic location. But Mr. Avatne, as Mr. Bhargava highlighted, that he sees high potential and expressed confidence in a flock of airlines coming at NMIA. I'd like to ask you, just for the benefit of our viewers, to understand what exactly are the challenges when such a transition happens, and how do you think this is going to happen? Is there going to be a fresh line of airlines that would come with a fresh batch, or are they going to divide their operations between the two airports? What do you think the strategy would be?
So, different airlines will have different plans for this airport. I think, as we've already seen today, Akasa, IndiGo, and how do you call it, Air India Express, these three airlines, and Star Air as well, they've all started operations from Navi Mumbai today. So obviously these are domestic carriers and they will continue to fly from both the airports. What can also happen is for some international airlines who were unable to launch flights to the Mumbai international airports, these might now come into Navi Mumbai and target flights from the same catchment area that Mumbai and Navi Mumbai share. So domestic carriers, they will obviously split operations between both the airports because, for a Navi Mumbai person or somebody flying into Navi Mumbai for a meeting or a work thing, it becomes easier.
Mr. Aftani, sorry to interrupt you, but you mentioned that the airport would now facilitate flying of those airlines that have not been able to fly from the existing airport, which is in the central part of the city. What airlines exactly are you referring to?
Look, I don't have names, but there could be international carriers who wanted to come into India, but they never got slots because the other airports were cramped. So they can now approach the airport operator and kind of get slots if that was the constraint for them.
All right. Mr. Bhargava, I'd like to get you in and ask you, what key passenger benefits does NMIA bring in phase one, especially for domestic flyers facing overcrowding at the older airport?
One can say that in the initial months, there will be a problem of connectivity. But then when you have the Atal Setu bridge, you'll have a metro connectivity, you'll have even waterways, water boats to taken from that place to Gateway of India, etc. It's a question of time. But then, as I said, always with all new airports, it happens that in the initial part, you do not plan for a large capacity. And as you go along and the capacity increases, number of passengers will get and there will be enhanced connectivity. So one negative factor, because it is away from the city. And as we have often seen, all airports are essentially created away from the city, but city grows closer to the airport as you go along. So this is a limited, I think, restricted factor, maybe for a year or two, that you will have connectivity issues. And that's why the significance of airlines splitting their operation from the existing airport and the new airport that they have. Because what it impacts is when you have capacity restraint, the fare differential comes in very often. And then you find, okay, this is closer to the cities or the fares are higher. And in the city, which is far away, fares are lower comparatively, putting this way. But then, as Ajay very rightly said, at the moment when airlines approach the government of India for enhancing their capacity into India, in and out of India, the government does not look at Mumbai currently because of the capacity constraint congestion. Now that the congestion will be taken care of, you will naturally have more airlines, not just new airlines coming into India, but also airlines adding capacity.
Bhargava, I again have a follow-up to what you said, and you actually make some very interesting remarks. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to speak to some experts on how easy is it for India to welcome airlines, and not just welcome them, but help them sustain on Indian soil. Because since 1995, if you go back, we have seen about 18 airlines fail. And very recently, Ram Mohan Naidu, the civil aviation minister, he announced going to Platform X that he's been meeting teams of 3 new airlines, 2 of which have already gotten their no objection certificates, one being Shankh Air out of them, and Al Hind as well. I'd like to ask you, is India ready to now not just welcome new airlines, but also help them sustain on Indian land? And if not, what are those loopholes that you see that needs to be fixed on an immediate basis?
It's good of Minister to say that there is provision for 3 more large airlines to come into India to break the duopoly of IndiGo and Air India, Tata Airlines. The reality is you really cannot bring an airline and it can't muster support or get a market share of even 2% or 3%. Take the case of Akasa and we can review it. A good airline, but has it been able to muster the market share? If all that it has got is thanks to SpiceJet, whose market share has been dwindling. IndiGo is unlikely to yield ground. Likewise, Air India. Air India, of course, has in the recent months cancelled a whole lot of international flights from their operations. But for a domestic player to come in a market with high taxation, high landing charges, high parking charges, high airport charges, let me add this also, you are unlikely to see a new airline survive. And the reason why 18 airlines, including mega people backed by Naresh Goyal, for example, Vijay Mallya, etc., could they survive? The fact is they never made profit. It's a low-cost model that India needs, and if the more low-cost come in, and of course these new airlines we are talking about are low-cost carriers, but for IndiGo to yield ground, considering that they've already placed orders for 1,000 aircraft to take care of future growth of the Indian market. Likewise, Air India has placed orders for 570 aircraft to take care of the future growth. Now, how is anybody going to grow? And unless you have some volume scale of operations, you cannot break even in the aviation industry. It's a tough industry.
That's exactly my point. Thank you so much for giving us some reality check on where India's aviation landscape currently stands in terms of sustaining airlines. But Mr. Avtani, how might NMIA improve connectivity to underserved areas in Maharashtra and beyond through its initial domestic routes? Because we've been talking extensively about how its multimodal transport facilities is going to enable transport from different locations within Mumbai and Navi Mumbai. But what about its strategic location and the significance of it in connecting other areas, not just in Maharashtra, but beyond?
So, one of the interesting things about the location is that this is almost centrally between Mumbai and Navi Mumbai. So, one of the impact of this is going to be that Pune, which does not get enough connectivity of its own. Now, the people from Pune don't have to come to Mumbai whenever these new flights internationally and domestically start. They also have the option of taking a flight from Navi Mumbai in case that is served by the destination that they want to fly to is going to be served from there. So that's one point on the connectivity. And also, I was reading this morning that a lot of at this point of time, a lot of bus services are being started into the neighboring areas, which can also, again, connect a lot more people. People who had to take cabs, to drive down to Mumbai, and they can now kind of just take a bus or still get a cab and come into Navi Mumbai, which is closer to them at this point in time. Over a period of time, obviously, as the new options of connectivity with the airport are established, there'll be a lot more people coming in because, this is a greenfield airport. And there is hence a lot more capacity here to accommodate passengers. And again, this is closer for a lot of regions of Maharashtra as compared to the Mumbai airport, which is like right at the tip of the island city, sort of.
Okay. Great point, May. Thank you so much, Mr. Ajay Aftane and Jitendra Bhargava, for giving us your insights into this milestone for Mumbai. Of course, there are areas of more development. There is scope of further expansion, but one can't ignore how strategic and important Navi Mumbai International Airport is, not just for Mumbaikars, but also for the country at large. But viewers, Navi Mumbai International Airport is now open for business. That matters, bringing faster travel, reducing congestion and fresh hope. From the first IndiGo touchdown this morning to the promise of 90 million passengers in the future, NMIA has the potential to be a game changer for travelers, businesses and the city.